Hey everyone, Merry Christmas. Just a quick one for you today. I'm going to share with you a very quick, very fun, very easy way to dress up a wine bottle. I typically dress up wine bottles that I give as gifts, and I think this is the perfect time to show you how I do this. If you're gifting a bottle of wine to someone in your life for Christmas, it just adds a little something to your gift. Let me show you how I dressed up this wine bottle. I have here a piece of paper that I'm going to use to create my pattern. And I have a piece of felt. I believe this is 12 by 18. And it's in the felt department at the craft store. I have here a tape measure and some trim that I'm going to use on my particular wine bottle wrap. This wine bottle is for a female, so I'm dressing it up accordingly. I have here it's like a chenille stem, only it's a very big, fluffy, fat one, and a couple of pom-poms that I ended up creating my own pom-poms, but just use a large pom-pom. I didn't have any white ones with me where I'm crafting today, so I'll show you how I improvise on that. You'll need some Velcro, either a strip of Velcro or little Velcro dots, a pair of scissors, and a hot glue gun. This requires very few items to create, but it adds such a nice little embellishment to a wine bottle gift. So with this piece of paper, it's just a piece of copy paper, I'm going to start creating a pattern. Now, wine bottles come in different sizes, generally the same size, but some are larger. So if you want to create a pattern for your particular wine bottle, just begin by wrapping a piece of copy paper around it and start creating your pattern. Now I decide in the front of my wine bottle exactly how high in the front I want the body of my wrap to be. So that's what I'm doing. I'm marking it right there. And I decide I want about 5 inches for the front of my wrap before it starts to travel up the wine bottle, as I was just pointing out there, and wraps around the back. You'll see what I mean by this in just a minute. So it's trial and error in accordance to how I create this. So I just keep my scissors handy, my wine bottle handy, and I just keep making the appropriate adjustments. Now you can see here what I'm trying to do is create the front of my wine bottle wrap, which this is going to, in essence, be that red piece of felt, which is the body of the wrap that goes around the wine bottle. So for me, I chose about 5 inches before it begins to go into a V, which goes around the back of the wine bottle. That will make more sense in just a minute. So here I am just making small adjustments in my pattern. But this is the best way to do it, just to create your pattern through trial and error. And what I want to do is have that piece of felt or that pattern there just meet exactly in the middle of the front of the wine bottle. So once I've achieved that proper measurement on that, I fold it in half, and now I am going to shape the rest of my wrap by creating a V of sorts that goes up the front of the wine bottle. So I take something straight, preferably it would be a ruler, which I didn't happen to have available to me at the moment. So I just use anything straight and just trace out a straight line. And again, see how I keep my wine bottle handy to keep wrapping that pattern around. Now you can see that V that I was speaking of. So up the 5 inches in the front is the space where the two sides meet, and then from there I just cut a V. Now I'm deciding how high in the back of the bottle do I want my piece to reach up behind the back of the bottle. And what I'm referring to is right there in the back of the bottle. As the V travels up the bottle, you decide how high you want it to go in the back in plain words. So I decide still a little bit too tall, so I continue cutting it off. Now, I'm going to give you the measurements of the piece that I cut, and that's pretty much from a standard wine bottle size. So if that's of any help, but you can see this is almost like a little house shape. So I meet it right in the center perfectly, and I pretty much decided that that's good. That's how high I want the back of it. So now I have that little point there, which I'm just going to simply fold it in half and eliminate that point with my scissors, just so I have a nice curved shape to my wine bottle wrap. Folding it in half will make sure that you have each side matching, or make sure it's symmetrical. Okay, so now my pattern meets in the middle at the 5 inches in the front. It wraps around the back. It's symmetrical, and I'm pretty happy with that. Now, how am I going to have that wrap adhere to the front of the bottle? It's very simple. I'm going to create a tab, and that tab is going to be as tall as that little section in the front of the wine bottle where the front closure is. I'm going to make that about 1.5 inches wide and around 5 inches long. And this is just going to be a rectangular piece of felt that we're going to adhere to the front of that closure. And you'll see what I mean by that in just a minute. This is actually really easy. I hope I'm explaining it well. But basically, you're just creating a pattern by trial and error with whatever wine bottle that you have. And creating a tab of sorts that's going to adhere to the back of that wrap. And this is where the Velcro closure comes in. I'm going to give you the measurements of this in the description box, but as well, I drew them out, and I'll show you that in just a minute if you want to screenshot that. That piece is about 5 inches long and about 1.25 inches wide there that I just measured. And here you have it. It's 10 inches across and 7 inches high. And you can see the shape there of that pattern that I created for my wine bottle wrap. Now I'm simply going to place my pattern on that piece of felt. That felt is really wonderful. It's a very stiff felt. And as I mentioned, it comes in sheets of 12 by 18. Very easy to find that at a craft store. And I just lightly take my pencil, trace around my pattern, and I'm just going to cut that out. And I'm also going to cut out that tall rectangular piece. That's going to be my tab where I'm going to place my little Velcro dots. That's going to serve as the closure when I wrap that wine bottle wrap around the wine bottle. So in plain words, you'll be opening it and closing it via the Velcro. So I don't think I showed it there, but I actually just hot glued that rectangular piece to the inside of that wine bottle wrap. And now I've created a tab. You can see there. Sorry about that. I thought I showed how I hot glued that, but it's very simple. You just hot glue that rectangular piece on the inside of the right side of your wine bottle wrap. Now I'm going to start placing my Velcro dots. Now, very difficult to find red Velcro, so I had to make do with what I could find. And I have here these great Velcro dots. They have sticky backs. So what I'm doing here is I'm placing some Velcro dots here. And as you can see, when you fold it over, that's how you're going to close the wine bottle wrap. Now, so that I get them perfectly even on the other side of the wrap, I'm going to take the backs of the Velcro, or the matching piece of the Velcro, which is the soft part that's going to stick right onto that that part of the Velcro that really adheres the pieces together, the abrasive part. And I go ahead and I stick the matching piece on to the Velcro dot. So you'll have that sticky side facing up, so that when you wrap it around the wine bottle and close it up, it will naturally adhere right to the other side, right like that, of that wine bottle wrap. And I'll show you right here. I place it on. Now the stickies are ready to adhere there. Fold it over evenly, press it down, and now that sticky side of the Velcro is going to just adhere right to that felt. You see how that's closed now? It's very easy to do. Now, if you need more Velcro dots, go ahead and use them. This is all going to be hidden, as you can see. But this is how you can open and close that felt wine bottle wrap by the use of the Velcro dots. Now I'm going to place my embellishment. And I chose, this is for a female, I may have mentioned that, and I'm putting something super cute around as trim on my wine bottle wrap. So I chose this, I believe it's called a boa. It was in the Christmas craft department, but they do have this in the regular craft aisle with the feathers and the boas and all the fur trims. So I am going to take some hot glue and all around the edge of my felt wine bottle wrap, I'm going to glue that trim. Now, you could do so many different things with these wine bottle wraps. You could use that thick chenille garland, if you will, that I just showed you before when I was showing you the materials. You could use that. You could use any kind of fur trim. Last year I made one that looked kind of like a sweater with a brown fur collar. Oh my God, it was so cute. It's on my Instagram page if you want to see that one. Now I'm just going around, as you can see, with the hot glue gun and gluing on my trim. This is so easy. Once you get past the pattern part, this is the easy part and the fun part where you really see it all come together. And this makes a really, really awesome presentation as a gift. I'm just going around the neck, if you will, or the collar of my wine bottle wrap. just using a little bit of hot glue along the way. This adheres very well. Now I got to this point and I had to decide, am I going to cut it off there or continue it down the front? And I decided to continue it down the front. Now, you can as well take this wine bottle wrap off of the wine bottle and apply the trim. And I actually ended up doing that, which you'll see here in a minute. You could do it on the bottle or off the bottle. The reason why I took it off at this point was because that furry boa embellishment was getting stuck in my little Velcro dots. So I decided to just pull it right off and finish gluing it. But I'll show you here in a second that you could just pull that. Here we go. You could see how it opens up with the Velcro. Take it off, and you can actually apply your trim with it off of the bottle as well. And I just finish it up by applying a line of glue right down the front there. So now all of that opening and none of that Velcro is going to show. That's why I like to use either a fur or a chenille garland, if you will, or something that goes down the front, because it helps to create a more finished look going down the front of the wine bottle. But you can see how easy this is. And like I said, creates such a fun embellishment to a wine bottle gift. So I thought I would share it with you. You could do it, of course, as well with more than a wine bottle. You could, any type of liquor bottle. You could embellish it. And it's such a really neat, cool idea. I'm just getting rid of some of my little furry pieces that are coming off there. Now I place it back on. Now watch how easy I close it up with those Velcro dots. Now next we're going to add the tie and the little pom-poms. Now, I didn't have any big white pom-poms with me where I'm crafting today, so I always make do somehow. So I created my own with this chenille kind of garland. I keep calling it that, but I'm not really sure what the official name is. But just by rolling it up and just fluffing it up, I was able to create 2 pom-poms with that. So where there's a will, there's a way in crafting. You could also create your own pom-poms with yarn if you are knowledgeable about how to create pom-poms. Or you could just buy them, the nice big fluffy ones in a bag. They're also in the pom-pom section, which is usually near the felt in any Hobby Lobby or craft store. So you want to figure out about how long you want your tie. Now I'm using this beautiful braided red cord that I got in the sewing department at Hobby Lobby, but you could use a ribbon, a narrow ribbon as well, or any kind of cord. So I tend to overestimate on something like this rather than to come up short in the end. So I kind of overestimated how much I would need. But you have to figure out for your 2 pieces that are going to adhere to the front of your wine bottle wrap, you have to figure out how long you want your tie going down the front, and be sure that you have enough to tie your little bow. Now, I used a little hot glue because I used a braided cord, and just so that end wouldn't fray. I'm just going to put a little dab of hot glue, and I'm just going to insert it right on the inside of the front of my wine wrap. And there's going to be one on each side where there's the wine bottle wrap comes together. So I'm going to put one on the other side, on the inside of the wine bottle wrap, right there at the very top. And this is where it's going to tie. And from the end of each of those braided cords, I'm going to adhere the pom-poms. Now, like I said, there's so many variations on how you could dress up a wine bottle. This is just how I chose to do this one, but use your creativity. Check out the fur embellishments at Hobby Lobby or your favorite craft store. Pick up a piece of sturdy felt, and you could dress up a wine bottle or a liquor bottle just as easily as this. And this takes very little time to do. And again, it just creates a beautiful presentation. So here I have my little pom-poms that I created out of my chenille garland there. Now I'm going to figure out how long that I need for those tails to be so that my pom-pom sits right about midway down the front of my wine bottle wrap. Now on my first try, I didn't get it right. That happens. So I just made my adjustment accordingly. Now you'll see here that my pom-pom is hanging down too low. Once I tied it, created my loops in my braid, it was too low. So I just pulled it out, cut it off, and reinserted it so that I would have it hanging down about midway on the front of my wine bottle wrap. I just made a little hole, inserted that braid, and there you have it. My wine bottle has a very cute, I guess you could say a sweater or just a coverlet. But anyway, whatever you want to call it, it's super cute. So I hope this will help you think of a creative way to give a wine gift or a liquor gift. Okay, until next time, you all take care and Merry Christmas.